They're rabid. They're crazy, right? Like,
Chicago fans are crazy, but I mean, I'm excited to wrestle in front of them. It wasn't a shoe party.
You know what? It was really a shoe party.
She's hyping this story up.
And you were just fighting with all the
digital media weapons.
Yeah, digital media weapons.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'll be honest. When I first saw that match, I just saw a bunch of keyboards, computers. I was like, "What the hell are they doing?" I have a tattoo on my knuckle from my NFL days. You can't see me.
Oh.
I'll punch him right in the face with his. You can't see these fists coming.
All right, we are here with the Impact Wrestling stars, Jordynne Grace, the Knockout Champion, and then Moose.
I'm Jordynne Grace. I am the Knockouts World Champion currently, and yeah, I'm an Impact Wrestling superstar.
And I am Moose. I am Mr. Impact Wrestling, and I'm an Impact Wrestling superstar.
What is Impact Wrestling doing in Chicago? We haven't seen you in Chicago in a while.
I know, it's been like 2 years, right?
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic?
2018, 17. 19. Okay, yeah. I was gonna get
Our
there
media guy
eventually.
correcting us on here.
Yeah. So it's been 3 years. It's been. I think the last time I was here, we had Bound for Glory.
We're coming back for one of our Impact Plus specials, which is basically a pay-per-view, and then some TV tapings.
So Chicago is kind of infamous
Yes.
as
Yeah.
as a wrestling city. Tell us about your favorite memories in Chicago.
Oh man, the first time I ever wrestled here was actually when I was 17. I graduated high school a year early and I moved to St. Louis, and I wanted to wrestle for Shimmer. I don't know if you know that promotion, probably, but it was one of the biggest women's promotions, and it was a huge thing. So many of the girls from Shimmer used to get signed to WWE, which used to be my dream when I was a kid. And the first time I ever wrestled here was for a promotion called AAW in Chicago. And I remember I wore some tie-dye tights and a top, and it was just like creator wrestler number one.
My favorite memory. I mean, it would have to be Bound for Glory 2019. I wrestled the now retired Ken Shamrock.
Yeah.
And I think I was his comeback match actually. And we had a storied feud, and I ended his career once again at Bound for Glory. So that's probably my fondest memory.
What a good memory.
Yeah, it's great. I ended Hall of Fame's career at Bound for Glory in Chicago. So yeah, I don't think anything could top that.
What about Chicago wrestling fans? They're also very well known.
They're rabid. They're crazy, right? Like
Yeah.
I don't know how they got like this. I don't know what came first, like the fans' love for wrestling, or I know Pro Wrestling Tees is based out here. I'm not sure when they actually started, but I know whenever I think of Chicago, I know that it's like the home of Pro Wrestling Tees, and obviously, CM Punk is a big guy here. So I just think some of the best training facilities are out here, the best wrestling fans. Like it feels like every time we come to Chicago, we sell at the venue. Mm-hmm. So that's a really big deal for us.
Yeah, the fans are crazy. I think the last time we was here, Ross had to kick a few people out for banging the cowbell. Yeah, there was hitting the cow. There was like smacking on cowbells the whole night, and they got so.
You kicked them out?
Yeah,
wow.
It got so annoying. It was like you can't even watch a wrestling match because you heard 15 people or 20 people just smacking on this cowbell. And it was like, Ross, you have to do something about this. Yeah, so Chicago fans are crazy, but I mean, I'm excited to wrestle in front of them. That's what makes them special. So just don't bring the cowbells.
No, bring them back. I'm all for it.
As you can tell, I'm an Impact Wrestling fan, big fan.
You just
I
wore
thought
that
I
shirt
was gonna say I
because
thought you
we're
just
here.
were wearing the shirt.
Yeah.
No,
He totally just wore that shirt because we're coming in today.
Our media guy gave it to you before the interview.
I'm such a big Impact Wrestling fan. I'm like a big supporter. But
Who's your favorite Impact wrestler?
Gail Kim.
Oh, she's not even a wrestler
She's my Korean sister, so I have to go with Gail Kim.
Okay.
But,
Yeah, that's
there are a lot of competition out there. WWE, AEW. For the fans out there, what's great about Impact Wrestling?
I like Impact Wrestling because there is just something for everyone, and it's a very much like a family oriented show. We're a tight knit group, and I feel like the venues they're smaller than obviously WWE and AEW, so I feel like you get more of like a personalized experience with each wrestler. Like
It's intimate.
yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. You're more likely to be able to interact with the wrestlers as they're coming out. At an event like Impact, you're more likely to get that intimate experience.
I think one thing Impact does, and a lot of fans don't know this because they're we love WWE, we love AEW, but honestly, we have the best TV show, like storyline wise.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like she said, we have something for everybody. If you want comedy, we have Johnny Swinger and
Zicky
Dice. If you want hard hitting wrestling, you have Josh Alexander, myself, Sammy Callahan, Eddie. If you want knockouts, we have the best knockout division, in my opinion, and I'm not being biased. If you want horror, we have the Underworld. We have Taya and Rosemary and Sue Young whenever she comes back. Luchadors, like the High Flyers. We have the X Division. Like,
and Bandito's going to be there.
And Bandito, week, like probably the greatest luchador in the States right now. He's going to be there. So that's a huge selling point for us.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And Impact Wrestling, definitely one of the strongest women's wrestling division right now. Tell us about Knockouts Division. Why is it called Knockouts Division, by the way?
I think it's a kind of a double play on words, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think when it was originally invented, it was kind of like, a knockout is you're a knockout, like you look really good, and then we can also beat each other up and
they would knock you out.
Yeah. So I think that's a kind of a play on words there. The division is really, really good right now, especially with all the new people we have coming in. We have Masha, who honestly scares me just a little bit. We just got Mia Yim coming in. Obviously, Gail Kim is the head of it, who you just said is your favorite. And I think that having the women be able to produce and agent the matches makes us a lot stronger than just, having some guys just have eyes on. I think it's more important for women to be involved in the creative process. And I like that it feels like a sisterhood. I like that there's no cattiness, and I like that there's a spot for everyone no matter what. No one's ever really sitting on the sidelines. Everybody's always involved in a story, or they're involved in something no matter what. So there's not like a feeling of animosity between anybody. It's not like, oh, she's going to take my place or I'm going to take her place. Everybody has their spot and their position.
Moose, from NFL to pro wrestling, what led you to that change?
Like growing up, I was always a huge wrestling fan. Wrestling was always something I truly wanted to do, and I knew at some point in my life I was going to become a professional wrestler. And it's just one of those things that I never thought that football would be the path that I would go through to become a professional wrestler. Obviously, I went through high school, I tried it out, and I was actually good at it. So I got a scholarship, and it's one of those things where when a school gives you free schooling and you can't say no, and obviously you don't want your mom to whip that ass. Excuse my language. So I had to take a scholarship to go to college, even though in the back of my mind I wanted to be a professional wrestler. And then going in college, once you're almost done with school, and then all these agents are hitting you up and saying, oh, you could be drafted in this round, and whatever, you could play in the NFL. It's like, man, do I quit football now and become a professional wrestler, or do I go make thousands and millions of dollars? So that was kind of like an easy decision. But it got to a point where the money I was making wasn't truly giving me the happiness I wanted. And I knew the only way to get that happiness was to pursue what I loved as a kid, which is professional wrestling. So
I also learned that what makes you very happy are your shoes.
Yes.
Very strong shoe game.
Yeah, very strong shoe game. I definitely have the strongest shoe game in Impact Wrestling. And I will put myself up there with the best in the whole wrestling industry. Yeah, I collect shoes. I love wearing them. I probably have easily $100,000 worth of shoes.
It's a room full of shoes.
That's
literally.
What I do. Yeah.
There was a shoe party too?
It wasn't a shoe party.
You know what? It was really a shoe party.
She's hyping the story up. It was a party because just something to do, and a couple of guys wanted to see my shoes. So I showed it to them, and I ended up showing it to everybody, the whole party. So
we were in Orlando. Yeah. He lives near there. He invited everybody in the locker room to come to his house with the facade of, oh, it's going to be a big party. And then when he got there, when all the wrestlers got there, I've heard this story many times, and this is why I chose not to go, because I knew this was going to happen. He showed everybody his shoe room, and that was like, he just talked about his shoes the entire time.
I'd actually love that. I need to up my shoe game. So. Most memorable match I saw from Impact Wrestling this year was a digital media championship match where you had an intergender match.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorites too.
And you were just fighting with all the
digital media weapons?
Yeah, digital media weapons, basically.
I'll be honest, when I first saw that match, I was like, because I wasn't even thinking about what the match was. I just saw a bunch of keyboards, computers, and cell phones. I was like, what the hell are they doing? And somebody was like, it's a digital media hardcore match. So they're using all digital. And I was like, the bell, the light hit. And I was like, oh my God, that's genius. Like, and I was watching it. It was probably one of my favorite matches this year. Like, it was awesome.
What's funny is when they pitched that match idea to me originally, they were like, well, we don't know if we're going to do it or not because we don't think we have enough weapons. And I was like, what do you mean you don't have enough weapons? And they were like, well, what do we really have for digital media? You know, we have keyboard, you know, we can't afford a computer or whatever. And I was like, no, I'm going to make this happen. So I actually went on eBay and I'm the one who bought the cell phones that we used. If you don't know, you can buy bulk cell phones, like vintage old cell phones. Some of them have batteries missing. Some of them are cracked, but it was like 150 phones for like $300. And then I went to Goodwill and I bought the old DVD player and put like meme stickers all over it. And I was like, no, we're going to do this no matter what. Extension cords. Like, it was awesome.
You know what other thing I really love? Impact Wrestling does intergender matches, but they do it in the right way.
Yeah.
What's the secret behind it?
You have to ask Scott D'Amore because I have no idea. They don't advertise it.
They don't advertise. I think we just have great wrestlers to know how to really do an intergender match. Like, I think the problem with intergender matches in general, not with our guys doing it, but just in general, is like those guys are so oblivious that they're wrestling like it's a guy and a guy. Where our talent are really smart and they're really good at their craft where they know how to tell that story to make the viewers make sense out of it. Like, oh, this makes sense. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoyed the regular match that she had with Cardona before the hardcore match, because it was like, oh my God, this is the perfect intergender match. This is what an intergender match needs to be. And it was like, I remember telling her, man, that match was freaking awesome. Like, and they killed it the second one with the hardcore match. But yeah, I think one thing we have a roster who are really smart and they really know what pro wrestling is about. And I think that's another thing to answer your last questions. That's why people should come check Impact Wrestling out.
I mean, I loved your interactions with Alicia too.
Oh, yeah. It never ends well with me. I always get beat with a kendo stick, so I think I might need to leave her alone for a long time.
So Impact is where you can see all the fun stuff, the Undead Realm, the digital media hardcore match, the wackiest things happen in Impact Wrestling. What are some of the wackiest dreams that you want to have in Impact Wrestling? What are some dream matches?
I would love to have a digital media themed Ultimate X match. And I literally just thought of that right now because we're talking about the two things, but I think that would be so much fun to do. You could hang like the extension cord over the top. You could like zip line down the X. If you don't know what the Ultimate X match is, basically it's the ring and they have 4 posts on the turnbuckles and they have like a giant X over the thing. And usually there's a belt hanging or an X, and you have to win the match by climbing the ropes and grabbing that.
Oh, for me, easy as it would be my alter ego, DJ Too Large versus Swinger. That's my dream match. Yeah,
sounds awful. It sounds truly bad.
That's my dream. Honestly, I think that match would be so over. Like,
it would I don't be know the if you guys match know in history.
That match would be so over because you got an old school Dirty Hill and Swinger, and then you have this old school super over babyface and DJ Too Large.
I love that.
Yeah, that's my dream match.
The other thing about Impact Wrestling is that the Forbidden Door is fully open. So all the way from AEW, New Japan, and even Royal Rumble with Mickie James to WWE. What are some of your Forbidden Door fantasy match?
I hate doing these because it's like...
I want to see you wrestle Bobby Lashley.
I've wrestled him.
Really?
A bunch of times. Like,
I didn't know that.
When Bobby Lashley was in Impact, that was like the guy I wrestled. Oh, we need a feud for Moose. Oh, put him against Bobby Lashley. So yeah, I've wrestled him probably like 8-9 times. So I mean, I would love to do it again. He's a good friend of mine. That's it. That's my dream match. Me and Bobby Lashley. Okay. Yeah. even though it's happened a million times.
Wait, what's your actual dream though?
It's never gonna happen. I mean, I wouldn't say never, but
John Cena.
John Cena.
Sure, John Cena.
Yeah, I have a tattoo.
I want to wrestle John Cena.
I have a tattoo. No, I have a tattoo on my knuckle from my NFL days. His gimmick, "You Can't See Me." Oh. So yeah, that would be a good match, right?
I don't know why you didn't just say it right off the bat.
I'll punch him right in the face with his.
Yes.
You can't see these fists coming.
For me, I feel like the 2 strongest women in the other companies against me, the strongest woman at Impact, it would be me versus Jade Cargill from AEW, or me versus Rhea Ripley from from WWE.
I love that.
I feel like that would be really, really
love
good.
that. I also feel like I really want to see you versus Chris Statlander.
We've wrestled before. It's been a while though, so I think we both got a lot better. We both found our grounding about our characters and our wrestling style. So I think now it'll be probably a lot better.
Tell our audience, how can we watch Emergence and Second City Slam?
For people who are in Chicago, you can go to impactwrestling.com to get tickets. If you want to watch mobily, you can download the Impact Plus app. I believe it's $9.99 a month. You can watch there.
I believe it's on Fight TV. It's on Fight, right?
It's on Fight? Oh, It's also on Fight TV, and you can get the pay-per-view there too.
Thanks.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.